It's This Week in X on the Hellfire Gala red carpet for Marauders, issue number 21. Let's get the gang's initial reaction, starting with Tyler.
As far as events goes, this is a really good start and made me excited to read more about what happened next.
Harry.
It's a big overview of a long night, and it's a series of moments, but they're really great moments.
Fariha.
A really bad appetizer for potentially otherwise good event. And Peter?
Low-calorie hors d'oeuvres. And with that, let's jump into our full coverage of Marauders 21 from This Week in X. All right, we're going to talk about Marauders number 21 in full, and it comes with our standard spoilers warning. Clearly, we're going to talk about the details of this comic and other X-Men comics, although we'll try not to get too far ahead of ourselves in the Gala issues this week, but because they all are intercut in time, we might make comments about the other issues from this week as well. Marauders 21, starting with Tyler, what's a slightly fuller reaction from you on this issue?
I mean, as you have alluded to earlier, this is structured really differently from all the previous crossovers or events that Marvel publishes, because this has a timeline and you are seeing snippets of scenes from the from the same timeline, with regards to different groups. So as far as Marauders go, this is this is a really good start for me because it whets my appetite to read more about this event, about the Hellfire Gala. And so, I give it a 4 not at all suspicious flowers out of 5.
Harry, what about you? What's a slightly longer initial reaction from you?
So this is definitely an interesting structure that has kind of worked well for some and not others. It's interesting where this issue is almost the main event issue, and then the other issues this week are the tie-ins that fill in the blanks. This was definitely the most pulled back, where you're just seeing all of these things happening and all of these hints for future Marauder issues and things that'll be happening here, I suppose. But all of those moments are really delightful. I think they all hit really well. I was expecting just a good time here. I wasn't sure how much plot we were going to get. It's a little less than I expected. I'm not that upset. And I think Lolly's art is excellent. I think this is some of the best he's done. So I'm going to give this a 4.25 security guards out of 5.
Fariha.
So if this was served to me in a 5-course meal at a restaurant, I would have walked out of the restaurant. Like this, the art in the very first page pissed me off, and that's coming from me who don't necessarily look at it. Like, if Emma is a real person and she saw how she was drawn in that on the boat, she would have made sure that this Lolly never had a career. I don't know, it just looks awful, horrible, and the whole time every page looks like webtoon art, and I can't stand webtoon art, and it kind of looked like that. It's really annoyed me. And then the whole thing that this issue was supposed to be a red issue, a lot of things supposed to happen. At the end, I was Barack Obama's gif. What happened? And then if the last 2 page wasn't present, I would have been kinder to it. But with the last 2 page being there, it really annoyed me. Just don't. And so, and the thing is, there will be a lot of other things I want to talk about, is how far we have come, but how backwards we are. It just, I don't know. It's just the whole thing. And I had to check. I'm Jerry Dugan wrote it, because I thought that it was Benjamin Percy or Hickman even. But
somebody boring is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. Even though he's my soulmate, but yeah. I'm still saying that. So yeah, but it was Dugan, and it was not. No, it didn't leave me much hope. I was very disappointed. But yeah.
I think they kind of painted themselves into a corner that was hard to escape, which was really my reaction the whole way through, which is they made it a red issue, but they couldn't do anything too big because it was the first issue. They made it a Marauders issue because it's the Marauders who are really hosting via the Hellfire Club, but they didn't really give us anything that we've wanted or been waiting for in Marauders. There was a lot of teases, but they couldn't have just made it like Hellfire Gala entrance or red carpet or
Alpha.
something because there wasn't enough content, and they also wanted to do that midnight thing at the end. So I think that they kind of just like box themselves out. They're doing this very clever mutant massacre. Everything's happening simultaneously. At points we're going to get some Rashomon effects as some scenes play out from slightly different perspectives. I don't know if there's a way to win with this issue. I really think they backed themselves into a narrative corner. Personally, I think it fell pretty flat with me. Just jokes is not enough to carry me through the first issue, a Marauders issue, a Red issue, and I didn't really feel like there was very much other than jokes.
I'm glad. So at the end of this, I'm like, I'm turning into Peter. Like that was my reaction. Like I
You're spending too much time with me, Fariha.
I was like, this is happening. I'm morphing into Peter.
You're turning into a Madrox dupe with me and Zach. You're going to think the same thoughts.
I mean, it definitely does not qualify as a Red issue. Because
I don't care if it's not a Red issue.
Yeah, but
I just don't
right, they
think
did it to themselves. It's a self-inflicted wound.
That part I agree with that. But my point is this: like, this is something different in terms of an event. The structure is very different. So I actually think that this is a very clever way to set things up, because it kind of, it kind of makes you want to read more.
Does it?
I think so. I mean, it does for me. I know we are split this way.
I know.
Yeah, we are split. The panel is split.
Put up them hands. We're going at it.
But the thing is, here's the thing. Like at the end of it, maybe I will be on the same side as you. But Tyler, you've seen it before. Like
it's going to be a long night, a whole month long
night. It could
be
this way, or it could be that way. I mean,
well, look, I want to start at the end because I think that the end is potentially the most intriguing. Then we'll come back to the beginning. So the end is after midnight, and you'll notice, folks, that there are captions, time captions throughout all the X-Men issues in the Gala, which would allow you to put it in an explicit order, but sometimes within a time caption, an amount of time elapses, which Tyler and I are starting to put together the receipts in the background. Maybe at the end of the month, we'll tell you the right order to read every issue. But after midnight, people are walking out of the fireworks display, presumably. It's the last thing on the schedule. And they have some very interesting things to say. I'm going to read some of the things they said, and then I'm going to go around starting with Tyler, and I want to talk about what you think was revealed. So a headpiece-wearing ambassador or businessman says, "You heard me. Sell everything in that sector. Yes, the entire portfolio." The ambassador from the United States says, "If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes." The Brazilian ambassador, after being pressed by Emma Frost, says, "You will galvanize humanity in a way it never has to confront the threat posed by mutant kind." Dr. Strange says the Magic, "I don't want to be rude at a party. I want some time to gather my thoughts." Captain America says, "Did you know about this when we met a few days ago? Well, you solved one big problem, but I'm worried you might have made an even bigger mess. I just hope you know what you're doing. See you out there, Scott." And Scott says that he did, well, not for certain, but I had an inkling. So this is an interesting amount of hints as to what goes on. It's enough to make people dump whole stock portfolios. It's going to galvanize humanity against mutants. Cap and Strange think it's a big, big deal, and that makes an even bigger mess. And Scott didn't even 100% know what it was. Tyler, what is it?
I mean, I feel like the mutants have, just going by what my thought is, that the mutants basically says, the world, the Earth might be, not sufficient for mutants anymore. So we are expanding outwards. We are going to the space.
Yeah.
And we are going to claim and occupy this sector of space that, no human beings, no living beings have claimed for us. And, so basically that is the thing that I thought that they might be doing, or they thought that no one has any claims to it, because evidently someone says sell everything in this sector.
Yeah.
So someone,
you don't think it meant financial sector. You thought maybe it was like space sector.
Space sector. That's what I'm thinking of.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Harry?
Well, I virtually thought the same thing, to be honest. I mean, it would that, not saying that's like, it sometimes it's fun to just guess pie in the sky, but like some kind of space exploration or kind of like planet colony just would make the most sense in the story that we've been kind of setting up. I do love that the humans are all freaking out and all the superheroes are just like, I don't know how to feel about this. Don't talk to me right now. Like, it's very like kind of mellow. It's not like they've gone too far. It's just like, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it was an interesting tease. I do think if there's the biggest issue with this is that the skip ahead is a little bit less satisfying than I think they want it to be. But I am curious. I'm quite curious. So I did work on that level. But yeah, big old space colonization enterprise.
Freya, are you with us colonizing space right now?
No one here read Inhumans? Like, because Inhumans have already done it before. It's like, how is
Nobody
this new
remembers
thing?
the
No.
Inhumans.
Like, how is it people in Marvel Universe are surprised by that? Like, it's like people here, people on this earth would be, but people in Marvel Universe have seen everything. How are they surprised by that? And the thing is, what really pissed me off was like, okay, what is it? I mean, I don't know. Like, you made this a red issue and you didn't say it. So I don't know what to react to. I guess we'll find out in Planet Size X-Men. Maybe that's where we'll find out.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
Almost a
if they're
certainty.
but here's the thing: if they're gonna pack up and leave, why aren't they upset about it?
No,
Like,
no. They're not packing up and leaving. That's.
But
don't
if
think
they're
know.
expanding,
We
if
don't
they're
know.
expanding in the
Yeah.
other side, why are they upset about it? Like, what is it?
Just obsolescence, the feeling that they are being so outpaced now that like the mutants will take the stars. This is all
Anyway,
heavy speculation.
yeah, so that's the thing. Without not knowing that, I'm like,
Yeah.
sure, I guess. But what really pissed me off is like Cyclops didn't know about this, and then it just like I don't know. I just like it's like, are you just supposed to be the captain of this island? Like,
But he's not on the council anymore, and Jean is not. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, the people that he's sleeping with are not, except for Emma. But
Yeah, Wolverine isn't either.
Hey, like it's just like nobody knows. Like it just there's no mutant what you call it, like unity about this. Everyone's doing their own thing. I mean,
but we
we're
know
gonna
that. But isn't
I
that the problem?
I know, but the thing is like the problem is just exacerbating again. I'm like, oh, when is this gonna end? I thought that there will be some kind of unity at this gala thing because that was the whole thing about it.
Mhm.
But the thing is like there was no even the whole idea was that, oh, this was supposed to bring mutants and humans together, and it didn't. It just created even more divide. And then
That's
I'm like,
drama.
yeah, and I'm like, I'm just done with those drama. I'm really done with it.
All right, Mary J. Blige. No more drama.
No more drama.
I largely agree with Tyler and Harry. It's the place because I was trying to make them all fit. I did think maybe they finally like full on reveal the resurrections, which they haven't been like totally forthright about to everybody because I really focused on Captain America saying, I'm worried you might have made an even bigger mess by solving a problem. I don't know if going to space like solves a problem necessarily. So that was the one place where I'm like, and also I debate on if they would cast themselves as colonizers. I mean, Xavier would, because he kind of did that to Krakoa, but it's definitely an interesting angle if they were like, well, we're just colonizing space, especially because like Black Panther just did that plot. So it feels like there's got to be like another nuance to it somewhere where they're like, we claim this specific space as mutants, or they talk about the Arakan mutants needing their own sovereign territory or something like that, which does solve a problem and might create a bigger problem. But I also thought maybe it could have to do with resurrections. I'm really stuck on the Cap comment. And I think if I'm trying to be nice, which I don't always, I think that maybe this is a red issue because we're going to come back and really read it differently. It has a lot of the ambassador nonsense threaded throughout of it without really revealing what they're up to. And then it has this reveal too. And I just wonder if we're going to get to the end and be able to reread this and kind of see another layer to each of those sets of dialogue.
I mean, before we go on, the Russian ambassador has also revealed herself to be part of AUKUS. Yeah, because she said alerts the central column, and the central column is devil, basically. Yeah.
So now let's circle back to the beginning in the section that I will call greetings and salutations. Fair game to everybody, starting with Fariha and going around the circle. Is there anybody kind of in this greetings? We could even all take it all the way through Emma's opening speech, but not to this psychic orchestra that you want to highlight. Anything, Fariha?
I was disappointed that none of the other heroes got any dress. Like they just showed up in their costume. I mean, like that was like an oversight on Marvel's part. Like put them on some nice clothes.
I think that's intentional. Like they're almost like antagonistic, like not fitting in with the thing the mutants are doing.
I hate that shit. Like, I
It's drama.
No, I know. It's
It's
just
just
like,
conflict.
it's just doing this, like, you're going to, I hate that whole thing. It's like you're going to put one side down in order to raise the other one up. And Marvel does it all the time because of whoever is the hot IP. So this is just being done purely, not necessarily story point of view, but because of how they want to push and market it point of view. And I'm not on it, like, so I was just kind of like, ugh, whatever. Like,
And I also kind of feel like it's
like,
meant to make them all seem like battle ready or whatever, but like, come on, they're superheroes. It would actually almost be funnier if one of them was really dressed up. Like if all of the Avengers came not super dressed up, but then like just
Like
Iron Man
Thor.
was dressed up or just Thor was dressed up. Like that would have, you talk about all this really bad comedy in the X-Men books this week, which I'm going to harp on constantly. Like that would have been an actual visual gag that had a little bit of heft.
The fact that T'Challa didn't dress up.
Right? He should be dressed as a king.
Me. Because
I mean, he is a king as Black Panther, but
the T'Challa, he's like a symbol of a country. He's supposed to be the ambassador of Wakanda, for all we know, right? I mean, he's coming from that. And the fact that he's not dressed up, like Thor is not dressed up, he should be the first one to be like, come here. But, I guess like there's a reason why we'll see that in later thing. But the thing is, I mean, it just like, and then also the whole thing about Iron Man. Oh,
well, we'll get to that more in X-Force because that plays out more in X-Force. Harry, anything that you want to draw out from the greetings and salutations here?
I actually like this a lot because, we kind of had like all the X-Men, the mutants so much in their kind of own personal line. And this has been the biggest kind of mix them up. And, there's just, to be very blunt, I just like the party vibe where you're seeing everyone show up. I think Doom is incredibly funny in this for what he is. And then, and I like the interactions with Franklin and Kate. It's just, it was just like a fun way to kind of show this is like a higher stakes thing while also showing how I read it, some tension because, they are already kind of showing up in their costumes rather than some fancy outfits. Though I would like to have seen Captain America in like a fancy gala outfit. That would have been cool.
So what do you think specifically about that comment from Kate to Franklin Richards? Everything works out in the end, bub. Is that just Kate saying that in the story, or is that the X-Men writers saying that to the Fantastic Four editorial group?
That is Jerry Duggan talking to Dan Slott saying,
"Oh, we don't say that.
We will take him back. Soon he will return." Which I thought it was nice.
That's how it will end. Like, I mean, what's his name? David Heller, like Legion will wave his hand and he will be back as a mutant again. Sure, whatever.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
Well, it doesn't have to be David Heller because he okay, I mean, he's not a mutant. And who told him that in Fantastic Four?
His dad.
Xavier?
Yeah,
I don't know. I've blocked it out.
Xavier
I saw on Twitter.
Xavier came up as a holographic projection and said that, "Oh, you are no longer welcome to Krakoa because we have determined that you are not a mutant, right?" And then with this Kate's comment, it actually lead me to think that was it Slott who reckoned Franklin, or is this a Hickman plan all along? Because he doesn't want. I mean, they got what they want from Franklin when he visited Krakoa for a short period of time, which is probably his DNA. And then after that, they do not want Fantastic Four to know what is going on Krakoa. And so Xavier basically cut it off.
And then all they have to do is kill Franklin whenever they have need of him and resurrect him and everything will be fine again.
Exactly.
Maybe Magneto kills Franklin and that's why he's on trial. Tyler, is there anything else you would like to highlight from the greetings and salutations before we get to the entertainment and the main thing?
I love the interaction between Reed and Xavier. Basically, Reed is like, blah, 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 but we can all replace that with whatever. He said to Xavier because I mean Xavier and Magneto make sure he knew what they did to him. So this is him coming back and say, F you.
I enjoy that it's like an Illuminati slap fight. Like,
Yeah.
you know, for those of us who are big X-Men fans, we're like, Reed Richards. What is he going to say to Xavier that Xavier would care about? But then, you know, Fantastic Four fans are like, Reed can fix anything. Xavier's. It's kind of like whoever you tend to side with on that Illuminati, whether that's them or Namor or Tony Stark. You tend to be like, well, none of the other men can stand up to them. To which I usually go, men. So. All right, we're going to move out of the greetings and
before that, I just want to say that like it is really petty of Xavier to take it out on Franklin, because over here, you know, after Reed say something to Xavier, he basically, you know, backhanded slap Franklin by saying that, oh, it's always nice to see our human friends especially you. And I'm like, what the hell?
That
like
was
what? Yeah, right, Fariha?
That was not good.
No.
So see, that's what I'm saying. Like every one of this is like, none of you learned anything. None of you grew. You all should die. Just end this.
Well, that's the
like,
thing I think that's the thing with Xavier and Magneto. Oh, I mean, Magneto, we don't know, but that's the thing with Xavier, and you know, we'll talk about the other character in another book later on.
Well, now let's move on to the opening speech, the entertainment, and into the mingling. So Emma says something in her opening speech that it's a night about building a bridge into the future together. I thought that was interesting because she even offers a toast later to bringing the world together, but it does not feel like whatever happened in the fireworks brought the world together. So it almost makes me wonder if Emma even knew what she would be revealing fully, or if someone else stole her thunder, as Emma was also surprised by some other things happening into this issue. But there's also some entertainment before the mingling, and we'll go around a couple times and kind of pick a topic each. The entertainment was Rhapsody, always fun to see an obscure mutant come back, doing a one-woman string solo, one string solo, shared as a psychic orchestra, because nothing says mutant supremacy like a string solo. Let's start with Harry. Harry, in the entertainment and mingling section of the evening, what was the thing that you think is the most worth commenting on?
Well, I gotta pick one, huh? If I
Well,
have to pick,
we'll go around. We'll go around a couple times.
I just really, you know, I'm an easy mark, and I just love that there was a panel with Captain America, Doctor Doom, and Run the Jewels all just talking. And it's seeming like they're putting their money down on Doctor Doom to beat up Captain America, or is elder abuse the other way? I wasn't sure. I don't know.
Captain America is definitely the elder.
It's the older. Yeah.
So for listeners who don't know, or at least did not know them on sight, because a lot of people don't know necessarily what they look like, who are Run the Jewels?
They are a really good hip hop group duo that is kind of nerd influenced, and they kind of got a lot of kind of background in that, or at least influences. And I didn't expect to see them here.
I admit I have no idea who they are, but I kind of thought that they are like, oh, they must be some celebrities, but I don't recognize them.
So Run the Jewels, if you are like a comic book fan, they also did the soundtrack for the Black Panther trailer. Like, you know, the one that's like revolution is not
Legend
like
has it.
Legend has it. Yes, Legend has it. That comes from there. But also Killer Mike, the black artist of the duo, he's also very active in voter rights thing, and have done a lot of great work in Georgia. So you should actually check out his his work.
Gonna be honest though, I always forget the other guy's name, so I was like, Run the Jewels. I always forget the other guy's
Killer
name.
Mike is typically the face of it most of the time, but Legend has it. That song is top notch. Like
they have a great song called Thursday in the Danger Room, which is obviously a nod, which is fun.
Aww.
So anyway, go listen to them. They're great.
Tyler, good thing we have these young people to keep us hip, so we don't totally expire. I will say, I mean, this is, sorry to jump in on the round here, but it's a hot topic of discussion on Twitter that the celebrities that Marvel got the likeness rights to put in the comic, other than Run the Jewels, are pretty lame. Like they're like people that old people who don't read X-Men comics would care about. Not even old people that do read X-Men comics would care about.
Well,
and it's kind of funny, like looking at who reads and sees themselves in X-Men, and it's kind of like, ooh, Conan O'Brien, woo, you know.
Well,
he's got a very popular
Oswalt.
podcast, certainly more popular than ours.
Yeah, Conan O'Brien was there.
Conan's in it. When I saw Patton Oswalt, I was like, well, obviously.
Who else was there? Like because
Megan
I know that
Rapinoe and Seth Meyers and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
It's kind of a weird grouping. But
All right,
It's just random. Yeah.
Tell us
Yeah.
about an entertainment and mingling. What stuck out to you here?
So the one that I kind of liked and it made me like, ooh, like with the one between oh my god, what's his name? Everybody forgets his name all the time. The Sean Cassidy. What's his
Banshee.
code name? Banshee.
Banshee.
Yeah, Banshee and Emma's
Emma.
Emma had
interaction.
2 invites for Banshee.
Yes, Emma had 2
Mm.
invites for Banshee, and the thing is, the reason it kind of stuck out to me again because it's like Banshee is ex-boyfriend of Moira McTaggart.
Taggart.
I
Yeah,
didn't know
so
Yeah.
so it's
Oh.
like so that's one of the reason I'm like, why is she trying to put all the people who are Moira connected in her circle?
She's doing something. Okay,
Yes.
now I'm sold on this. Yeah, she knows.
So the thing is, like, it's kind of like got me into that. Like, I was like, ooh. And then also there was another one, but I think I will go with that for the second round.
All right, second round. Tyler, what's the first thing you want to pull out from entertainment and mingling?
Actually, this part is something which I kind of like, okay, it's okay. There's I mean, it's fun to spot all these celebrities. These imaginary thing with the music is something which I kind of don't understand. So it kind of fell a little bit flat for me in terms of like the scene, the
Well, then-
entertainment.
Maybe I will go next because
Yeah.
that is the first thing that I'm going to pull out. So I can speak to that.
Go ahead.
I thought it was dumb at first. I'm like, oh, psychic art.
Yeah.
And then
Rude,
the
rude,
way
rude.
they executed it and the reactions they got from the crowd and the thing with the butterflies, I actually got a little emotional. It was the reason I can't fully hate this issue because it's this idea, that mutants have something special, something unattainable. But maybe
Mhm.
even reflected in this human guest list that they put together is bringing together some remarkable people that also have something that's seen as unattainable. I would have liked to see Serena Williams or Simone Biles if we're talking about people who are superhuman in the real world. But, you couldn't
Mhm.
get the likeness rights to everybody. I don't know that Seth Meyers is necessarily an unattainable human form, although I do love Seth Meyers. And so, to take somebody who's a virtuosic instrument player, which I certainly am not on any instrument that I play, and you look at them and you're like, wow, like what must it take? All that practice and everything. And I really marvel at the idea of somebody who can play in an orchestra something really complex. And I do love listening to classical music. And I just marvel like that's one take. That is a person who can get through this 5, 10, 20-minute long movement, especially, if they're the principal soloist or if it's a piano piece and not make any actual mistake. That blows my mind. I'm not that person, even though I've done acting and performance. I don't understand perfection on that level. It blows my mind. So to take that person, to put them on display, and to then give everyone the experience of that, but not just the
Mhm.
experience, but kind of make the experience kaleidoscopic so that everybody gets a piece. It's as though Jean is almost conducting and she's making it so she's taking this one note and expanding it into a whole movement, shifting it, having it harmonize, having it play counterpoint, and giving everybody a place to hold inside of that orchestra. So imagine seeing the most powerful piece of music you've ever seen, whether that's classical music, whether that's John Williams' Star Wars theme, which is classical music, or whether that's Run the Jewels, and being not only hearing a virtuosic performance of it, but being invited inside of a virtuosic performance of it. I think if there's anything I could have ever experienced in an X-Men comic, this is the thing that makes me wish the most I lived in the Marvel universe. It made me very emotional.
And it
So
also that
can
scene
I-
ends. Yeah, well, that scene ends with such a it's an easy move. It's such a nice cap. Just her saying, "I was going to say it was like astonishing," which is just such a term that's basically owned
Astonish
by
them.
Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's owned by Kate and Emma Frost at this point to me. So like, it makes sense that it would be in this book, but it felt like it made sense in like a great way. Like it felt right.
Yeah.
So-
Fariha, what were you going to say?
No, I mean, my counterpoint to that is, isn't it kind of like not asking people permission and enter their head? Something that people are so scared about of mutant, and then showing that we can do it without.
It was in the invitation. They knew what they were getting.
I mean,
Well, and
I
some of them
just-
didn't let the butterfly land, right?
Yeah.
like,
Doom is like,
but that's-
Doom's
I
not
think-
into it.
Yeah, I mean,
Doom
I
is
think
not a roost for butterflies.
I think it would have been nicer if they actually said, like, if Emma actually said, those of you want to partake in this, allow the butterfly to land on you. To me, this is where it's failing again and again, because the thing is, the whole gala is supposed to be about human and mutant getting, like,
Building a bridge.
taking a step building a bridge. But the thing, they actually destroyed it again. And the thing is, like, I'm okay, like that. The one guy who was talking about, like, having psychic, like, oh, it's better this than the psychic thing, he was proven right. Like, he was proven right that they can do this at any given point. I don't know. If I were there, I would be like, didn't ask me that. You didn't tell me this is what's going to happen. I wouldn't be hip with it. Jessica Jones wouldn't be hip with it if she was there. She doesn't.
And I
have to
also
be
thought it was
mind controlled.
curious that Jean was like complicit of all the people. Like, I know Jean and Emma are like pals now, but especially psychic butterflies, like, where the heck is Betsy? Like, that's not Jean's power.
I do, not to make it trivial again, but I do love the 5-in-1's kind of group costume. I think their outfit. I think it's pretty good performance sort of thing.
I mean, the whole scene would have taken a complete different meaning from me if there was one panel. It's like, if you want to be part of this, allow it, and then everyone is like, oh, what is this? Like, yeah, put one butterfly on me, like, because. I don't want to be because I don't want to miss out. Like, that would have made it so much more juicier, because it's like, yeah, there's people, even though they don't like mutant, they don't want to be left out by mutant either. Like, so I was like, right there. Why am I not the editor of these comics? But anyway, sorry.
Well, we're going to go around another time here, and there's many things nobody's mentioned yet. There's more about the Cap and Doom conversation. There's some Shi'ar stuff that continues. There's diplomats. There's Hellfire kids. There's Guardian from Alpha Flight. There's an Inner Circle toast.
Going all the way there.
Well, I mean, it's all mingling, really. So Harry, Tyler, you're excited. What do you want to pick out since you took a pass in the first round?
Well, I mean, the thing that made me laugh was he's thinking about his mom.
That's fine.
Oh, that was yours?
Yes.
Well, duke it out, folks.
Okay, I'll let you have it.
Like, no, I mean, the whole thing, I mean, that was like, Emma channeling her inner Fariha in here, like thirst for Captain America, even though he's not necessarily the best. Like, like, he's like, it's like, but I love him. I don't know why, So obviously it's because, like, she's into Scott. So it makes sense. She has a type, like, so she will, and then Captain, like, Steve Rogers is like the non-mutant Scott Summers in a lot of ways. Yeah, and then he has the same stubbornness, and then the same, like, the look and thing. But the thing is, where she messed up is by calling him Steven, because only his mom called him Steven. So, and then he said that, and then obviously it was like, and I'm pretty sure the whole time, because we know Steve Rogers, like, yes, ma'am, like, ma'am, yes, like,
is that so he doesn't look at her breasts? Is that why your hand is there?
Exactly.
Is that a technique? Like, if I'm at a party and I don't want to look at somebody's breasts, I just put my hand on my nose.
Yeah, it's like, yes, ma'am, mutant supremacists, yes, mutant humans, we need to work together, ma'am. Like, and it's like, yes, Steven. And then she ruined it. Like, there was something, and then she ruined it. And I was like, oh, this is like, it's like, yeah, no one can overcome the charm, the old school charm he just brings. He just has it, I was happy to see that Emma's not even, like, Emma's also susceptible to that. I'm like, it makes me feel better.
If she just walked up with the riding crop and says, do you like to be ridden? That, that's a way different pickup line.
All back.
That's for the podcast listeners there. Okay.
Like, you know that Mr. Rogers will be in. I say yes, to make the human and mutant work together, we must discuss this. Like, in private. Like, yes.
And that kind of is his type. Like, he really does go for, like, powerful blonde women who can dominate him. And yeah, so I don't know, Tyler, anything else you want to pull out since you took a bye and then also gave someone else your draft pick? Is there a third one you want to pull out?
Well, I mean, I kind of, it's just one panel, but I thought it was a pretty strange panel. And that has to do with James Hudson, with Carl and Northstar. Because there was something about Carl not remembering a conversation that they just had. And
I reread that. Oh, sorry. So my read was, because I had the same issue where I didn't totally understand it. My read was when he says these uniforms can be hell on marriage, and then he was like, "Oh, how's your wife?" And he's like, "He just told you by saying it can be
Yeah.
hell on marriage. Hell on your marriage.
Oh,
Not to cut
okay.
you off. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I had the same issue. I had to like reread it a couple
Yeah,
times.
I had to read
was
it.
like,
I
what
had
is
that
this?
exact reaction.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Got
hold
it,
on.
got it.
What you guys thought before that? Because that's what I thought at the very beginning. So what
I
you
thought it
guys
was like halfway through a conversation where he had like already told him, and just Kyle was being like kind of ditzy and didn't realize
Yeah.
that he'd
Or
already said
Kyle
it.
was being impersonated because he's a human and had to, like for a minute I was like, is it Mystique? Why would he not remember?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, they're saying
Yeah.
like, based on the last, like their wedding or whatever, they already know
Yeah.
that James and Heather are
Got
not
it.
together. Yeah.
Okay, I mean then that actually makes a lot more sense. And I mean, you guys can have another go round.
I liked, I think, for better or worse, this issue is definitely trying to like encapsulate the entire kind of nights and getting you the big moments. But like, I do like that it managed to keep a little bit of like some attention on the actual Marauders of this book called The Marauders. And I like that they're the dirtbags gambling in the corner. I think that kind of fits pretty well. And it just it's like a fun little moment. It's gambling time is a little corny, but like it's comics. Corny's cool. So like I enjoyed that. And also they get a shout out later by Emma Frost.
Fariha, one final thing for you.
Yeah, the one thing about that one of the kids that we hate, Verandy kids.
Yeah, the Hellfire.
Burundi, yeah. I was not hyped to see
Wilhelmina.
Burundi.
Yeah.
Wilhelmina.
What did the
So is
cuckoos
she
do
one
to
of the
her?
cuckoos?
What did they reveal to
Like,
her?
is she the, so
Do you think
the
she's a
cuckoos
cuckoo?
Are actually lab made, right? They're lab mates, right? They're
Yeah.
not real mutants.
Yeah.
Well, they're mutants. They're
Oh, I
from
thought they were lab-
aren't they like
cloned.
cloned at the egg level from a single egg of Emma Frost?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I
so
know.
they're not like cloned as
something
kids.
like
They
that,
duplicated the original cell, basically.
Right. Like, there's a back, like, it's not, they were not just, born from humans or born
Yeah.
from other mutants. There's something more to them. So, and the thing is like the
Wilhelmina.
Wilhelmina,
Emia?
Mina, she actually was drawn to look like them
Yeah,
Yep.
a lot.
Yeah.
a
Yep.
lot over here. So
Same
I feel
hair.
like she's probably one of the cuckoos. Like she's
The
the
sixth.
sixth
All in
missing
six
cuckoo.
now?
Because the thing is there was actually more than 5 of them before.
Yeah,
And
originally,
the
in the
5
Great
of them
Pack.
just survived. So
Yeah.
the thing is like it's like probably like they're just reminding her of that. And then
Yep.
with all the nurse wretches. Like, so
Well, I thought that was also interesting because like it's the only Hellfire Club kids thing that we really get in this issue, and there was a lot of buildup. They're going to the gala, they got an invite to the gala. Maybe it's going to come out in one of the other issues, but Marauders is the natural home base for that. Like if they're a lot in one, I guess maybe it could also be X-Corps where they really are because it's like a business concern. And X-Corps has no other plot to play with really because they've only had one issue, but it did feel a little weird to me to just have this be the only page with them after a lot of buildup. It kind of was weird.
Well, I mean, I kind of like
Mhm.
that it's the only page. With
I mean, yeah, we don't like
agree.
them, but I mean, at
Yeah.
least pay off after making us sit through all
Yeah,
the
I
buildup.
feel like this book had a ton of
good
them in this.
payoff,
We'd
though.
have different complaints.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it turns out
yeah.
that she's a mutant, then I mean, I feel like at least, well, it doesn't really pay off me suffering through them and
For
all
the
those
past 10 years.
nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least it's going somewhere. You know what I mean. Yeah.
Well, we covered just about all the interactions here. We're purposely putting off talking about the Shi'ar interaction because we'll have a little bit more to say about that in X-Force. The only other thing I would bring up, and I think you all made great points, is there's a really interesting moment where everybody makes their toast with Emma in the kitchen. And it's mostly the cast of Marauders, and Jumbo Carnation and her chef. But then there's these 2 people in gold standing next to her with this white hair, which originally reads to me as Fenris. But Fenris is also usually a little bit more blonde. And also, like, wouldn't she have figured out how to get rid of them by now? So I was really confused. I was talking to some internet folks and folks on the Comics XF Discord, and everybody thinks it probably is meant to be Fenris, but I was just really confused by that. But I also really enjoy whenever Emma kind of assembles her Avengers here, especially when it's ones that aren't necessarily her team. And I liked it in the last issue that they're all at dinner together. I like it here. I think there's not enough of these moments in the book, and especially with yet another issue where Pyro and Bishop and Iceman are pretty much just decor for the Emma Frost show. It's nice to actually show that they're part of her plan. Would have I liked to see a little bit more of them do something other than play dice, which I don't even buy for a few of them who are playing dice. Maybe.
I like it.
But it was still a cute moment, and I like them being used in the book. So folks, that is all we have to say about this issue, Marauders Marauders number 21. Oh,
Peter.
no, Tyler has a final word.
No, just one sentence. It is Fenris, because Fenris are the Black Knights.
Well, their hair is wrong, and they should be wearing some
Yes.
black on their costumes.
Exactly. The hair is right. The hair is wrong. And they are, for some reason, in white, which I thought is kind of significant.
Everybody else is color-coded. Come on, people.
No, not really.
Yes,
Frost
they
is
are.
not. Christian
Who?
Frost is not.
Well, he's in black and white. Isn't he team black?
Yeah, but he's mostly black.
Yeah, but he's like black, but he's also, I don't know. So is Shinobi Shaw.
Yeah, but Shinobi Shaw is supposed to be black. He's a black bishop, isn't it?
But isn't that kind of a comment that Shinobi Shaw and Christian are kind of like playing across, much in the way that a bishop does, that they're like not exclusively under the sway of Shaw or Emma? Like, that's why I thought the colors were so important, which is why I was so confused about Fenris wearing gold, because it was just like, what does that mean?
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, because I was confused too. Because wait, why do they have white hair?
Exactly.
But that's the only logical reason to have the two of them there, because because they have been shown to be part of Hellfire Trading Company. They appears in like two different issues. One is in Marauders 8 and one is in Marauders 17. And that's the extent of their appearance in this in Marauders.
We've seen them elsewhere too. Also notice that Andrea Strucker has stolen Emma Frost's Phoenix 5 boots there. Okay, that is all that we are going to say about Marauders number 21. These X-Men Hellfire Gala issues kind of happen simultaneously to each other, which is what we're discovering. You do not have to read them in the order they're in the back of the comic. You could just take turns paging through them, and such that it's probably that you can listen to our other coverage and you will find a lot of hidden moments that happened during this issue, but they are in the other books that were out this week and also in subsequent weeks. That's just how this is unfurling. The reason we get all dolled up to talk about X-Men is why, Fariha?
X-Men is better when it's read together.
That's right. Even if it's over hors d'oeuvres and mingling to a psychic orchestra. So on the behalf of myself, Fariha, Tyler, and Harry, I want to thank you so much for being a part of This Week in X presented by Crushing Comics. If you're a watcher of this program, we'd love it if you subscribe, like, comment, do all of those YouTube things, because it lets us know that you're listening. Also, we have fun talking to you in the comments. Everybody drops by, usually from the panel. But until we get to talk to you again, I want to say that we all hope that you are well.